Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am playing with some fun Brutus Monroe products. I have what is left of the Fall Forest chipboard stickers. So I've had 2 of these and I've got little bits and pieces left of that. I have a couple of Velveteen Glazes, one in Dijon and one in Banana Split. Nice good fall colors here. I also have Aqua Pigment in Gilded. This is the gold Aqua Pigment. It is absolutely gorgeous. Of course, a photograph. Some of the Fall Forest 8x8 papers, and then I also have this Brutus Monroe and Deco foil transfer sheet that I am going to pull out my Deco foil and run that through the laminator. So let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I ran that through my machine, and just look at that gorgeous foiling over those numbers. I think it is absolutely beautiful. Foiling just adds that little extra special touch to your project, and I feel like I need to do it a little bit more in my life. So I am going to take some of these 8x8 papers, and they have a couple of borders on them, and I'm going to cut down the 2 pumpkin side ones, and that is just because I want this layout to feel like fall. So the layout is going to be about Drive Up, which is a service offered by Target. Fun fact, I am a manager at Target. And in the fall is really when it starts to pick up. It's like the pre-Christmas. So I am just going to document that here. So I have trimmed down the numbers, and then I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to treat the background. Because I'm not exactly sure what would happen if I treated the background first and then ran it through. I think it would probably cover up the toner and then it wouldn't stick very well. So run it through first and then treat it. So I'm using this gold Aqua Pigment here. And I am using my fingers because the brush was just taking too long. And if I can use my fingers to make it go quicker, then that is what I'm going to do. So it only gives a tiny little splash of gold on top of the white paper. And I can see the difference. You're not really seeing a big difference here on camera though, you guys. But I do see a difference, but it's not enough of a difference. Now I'm just using a white cloth to go ahead and wipe all of the Gilded Aqua Pigment off of the numbers here. And then I'm going to take my Velveteen Glaze, and I'm just using an old hotel key. And as you can see, my paper is brown, right? But it was a little bit too brown for all of the yellow and oranges that I had going on in my color scheme. So I'm taking the Velveteen Glaze, and I am literally just covering up the paper so that my cardstock here is less brown and more orange. That is literally all I'm doing here. I think that it's pretty awesome that you can use a Velveteen Glaze in this way. Like, you can just, you know, alter the color of your paper. You don't necessarily have to use it through a stencil or, you know, with any kind of special technique other than changing your paper color. So now I'm going to fussy cut the pumpkins a little bit more so that they line up. Now I wanted it to be so that they bordered the entire number thing here, but I had a little bit of a gap, and then this is where I decided that I really didn't like how stark the numbers were. Like, they still looked very white, even though they had this pretty glittery shine to them from that Gilded Aqua Pigment. It really just was too stark for me. So I'm taking the other Velveteen Glaze and I am rubbing that all over my number paper here. And since I'm using my finger and putting a thin layer on, it dries pretty quick. So basically I take my cloth and I buff off the foiled numbers one more time so that you still get that gorgeous foil underneath of it. So now I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive, pop up my pumpkins a little bit, and then shove that number down over top of the cardstock. And I am loving how this looks. It has gone from a brown and white to some like autumnal oranges and orangish yellowish, like I'm just really happy with how it turned out. And then I decided that I wanted to add a little bit more fun to the layout. So I'm grabbing the numbers one more time. Now this is the offcut, and I'm going to have it on the other side of the page so it looks like they were split apart. And again, I'm just buffing off the Velveteen Glaze off of the foil. Now these foil sheets you can get on the Brutus Monroe site. They do have a variety of packs of these bad boys, so if numbers aren't your thing, there are other design elements as well. Now I find the little pumpkins on the cut apart sheet, and I'm going to trim them down as well. And I do shorten the pumpkin stems a little bit when I'm fussy cutting them, just because I don't want to have to worry about these pumpkin stems and me accidentally ripping them off while I am working with them. So to me, it's better to just trim them off a little bit more, and then that way they will work. So now I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut out a few more things. So I've got the mushrooms here. And I just really adore the mushrooms with the pumpkins. Normally, I'm not a mushroom type decorator on my pages, but the little pops of red with the pumpkins, and it might just be because it's a Target page, you guys, but it really just makes me happy. So I fussy cut out a leaf and placed it over there on that other second set of numbers, and then I'm going to use the Fall Forest chipboard stickers, and I'm just going to place them around the layout so that I can get you know, some pretty decorations going on here. Now I am going to overlap them, so I do use a bit of foam, that way my flower is not tilted, it's not like leaning down off the pumpkin, it is flush. And now I'm just going to keep on going and figure out where exactly and what exactly I want to put as a decoration up here in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm fussy cutting out a couple more leaves. I'm going to tuck those under and kind of combine it with the chipboard pieces and just really like create a little bit of a cluster. So I have the big mushroom down at the bottom and the smaller mushroom over at the top, and I really, really do love it. So now I'm going to put a couple of these little acorns. I'm going to sprinkle them about just, you know, as a little bit of something extra. And I'm making sure that the acorns are facing different directions. They're not all in the exact same space in their cluster. And then I'm going to grab my absolute favorite sequins. These are super sparkly gold sequins. They are absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to drop them down in each of my little clusters right here. So I have a cluster over in the upper right, a cluster on the left-hand side of my photo, and then a cluster on the right-hand lower side of my photo. So now I'm loving this. I'm feeling all the fall colors. I like the little pops of red and the little pops of the purpley bits in the florals. Like, it's really just like it's singing to my soul. And now I pull out some letters from my stash that I can just really drive home that orangey golden yellow feeling. I'm going to apply them down with some glue so that they stay stuck. Whenever you are applying things over top of any kind of mixed media, I always recommend a liquid glue, especially if it has nooks and crannies, like a glitter glaze. I did such a thin layer of the Velveteen Glaze that it might not have as many nooks and crannies, but I just felt like better be safe than sorry. Now I just add some journaling with my white pen, and then there it is, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope that you check out the fall collections. I'll have some links down below for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again real soon for another video.